It's easy to build a split rail fence. In this week's video, we're going to show you how. We're the White family. We live in rural Alaska, and for us, it's DIY all day, every day. So this week we're working on a project in our front yard. We're on a steep hillside, so we've kind of terraced out a lawn area, but it's pretty steep behind me. And if it was just Jacob and I'd be totally happy with it. But since we have this little guy and he's riding his bike around, it terrifies me that he's gonna just ride his bike right off the edge of the cliff and hurt himself, or one of his friends or somebody accidentally stumbles off it. So we're gonna put up a split rail fence behind me and see if that can be that added layer of protection. So we're gonna get to it.
So the first thing you want to do is measure for how long your fence that you want.
The nice thing about a split rail fence is it will curve at about 20 degrees, so it could follow the curve, and it can go up and down slopes as well. So we did have a curve, and Jacob and I just measured the curve, and the rails that we chose are in 10-foot lengths. So we just rounded up to the nearest 10, and that's how long our fence is.
Yep.
You need to dig holes to put the post in for the split rail fence. We ran it in an auger and hand augered them in place. The auger cost about $50. It should have been a really easy task to auger these posts in, but there is a lot of boulders, so it was actually quite challenging.
Yeah, we wound up putting it in this, if you remember right, when we put this stone wall in here, we stepped the yard out, so there's a lot of big boulders and gravel. And so we had to go through that, which typically you wouldn't if you're putting in a fence in undisturbed ground. It would probably be really easy to drill.
The good news, we're at gravel, which drains water really well, but the bad news is we're at gravel and it's really hard to auger in a post.
Now I did it.
Just be patient, and what we ended up doing when we hit a boulder is we'd auger down, and then we'd kind of shovel out the boulders and auger down and shovel out the boulders, and that worked.
Yeah, there's nothing nice about the boulders around here, but we got it done.
So you want to go about 6 inches past the depth that you need for your post. So our post needed to be in 24 inches, and we just went past that 24 inches, then we backfilled with gravel, because the big thing is you want good drainage. If you don't have good drainage, then that hole is going to fill up with water, and even though it's cedar, it's going to rot sooner than you would like. They're kind of hard to level up because they're organic in shape, so just kind of eyeball it and make sure it's right. Yeah, that is a big wildfire back there.
I've been lining them up and it's been working fairly well. We just set the post, we get it level where it's pretty darn level, and I just mark a hole around, and we'll hit dead center when we drill, and it's usually a bigger hole than post. This post looks like about 5 inches, so we got enough to play with our hole so we can get it lined up good.
There's 3 options for the post. There's an end post, which basically means there's only holes to insert the rails on one side, and then there's line posts, which are in the middle, so the holes go all the way through the post, so you can put the rails all the way through. And then there's 90-degree corners, because while the fence will curve at about a 20-degree angle, it's not going to do a hard 90. So the corner posts have holes at a 90-degree angle, so you can insert post from both angles. We only needed the end post and the line post.
I would say we put in 70 feet of fence, 10-foot lengths, and we did it in under 2 hours. So, I mean, to me, that's pretty impressive that you can knock out a fence this quick. That looks really nice. It's maintenance free for now, and as the ground goes, it'll kind of free float and do its thing, and that's kind of what you want in a cedar fence, right?
We're really happy with how our fence turned out. It adds a lot to our front yard, and it brings a lot of security, and it's nice to kind of lean up against it, and I just can rest a little easier if we ever had a party or lots of kids coming over. that our yard is safe. Keep going. Start yourself now. Forward. There we go. Good. Kick off. You got it. Keep going. You want a booth?
So for 2 hours of work and $400, our cedar fence looks really nice in the front yard.
We're confident that most anybody could tackle this DIY project as well. We'll add a written blog post with all these specifics so you can follow that and some more photos. And thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next Monday.